Hello, BookTube. Over the last few weeks, Shelley's Margin has been making daily videos. Many of the earlier videos in this series have been about big mammoth books. Either books that she recommends or doesn't recommend, or that her viewers recommend or don't recommend. Apparently, Steve Donahue got a hold of Shelley's phone number and drunk called her over late one night to browbeat her into creating a tag of these big book discussions. And then it devolved into a shouting match as to whose miniature schnauzer is the cuter. So far, most of the participants in the Big Book Tag Challenge, or Big Book Tag, have been talking about mammoth books that are worth every page. I'm going to go in a different direction. The 5 books that I'm going to be talking about are mammoth or not quite mammoth books that I have bailed on. Some of which I have given a bail redemption to. But all 5 of these I am thinking about giving bail redemptions to. So, for context, I bail very heavily. So far this year, I have bailed on 27 books, although I have removed 2 books. I think it's been 2 books because I bail redeemed them. One of which was Devotions by Mary Oliver. I know for sure I bail redeemed that one. And I think there was another one. But I've been thinking about giving a bail redemption shot to some of these books this year. And so I'm going to talk about them in the publication order or when they were translated into English for one of them. So let's get started. First step is The Way We Live Now by Anthony Trollope. This novel I picked up a few years ago because I have a very weird relationship with Victober. One of the marquee BookTube events in the BookTube year. I don't have much of a Victorian bench to choose from. As much as I sometimes want to participate in Victober, I don't have the books to participate. And Steve Donahue, who will loom quite large in this video, not just because he drunk called Shelley, is a big fan of Trollope. Not infrequently, he will do read-alongs and read-alouds of Trollope's work. And a few years ago, I believe he did a read-along of The Way We Live Now. And that got me interested in picking it up to read for Victober. It's about a con artist financier who's got everybody in London believing he is a fabulously wealthy man. And this attracts the attention of a number of ne'er-do-well aristocrats who see marrying his daughter, who is his only heir, as a way to beef up the family finances. And other shenanigans goes on as well. So when I gave this book a go for Victober 2 or 3 years ago, I didn't make it past the first or second chapter. I didn't connect to it. And so I'm thinking seriously about giving The Way We Live Now a bail redemption shot this October in a bit of a matchup with Charles Dickens. I recently rebought Bleak House by Charles Dickens. And so my thought for this coming Victober was to basically face off Dickens and Trollope, or Dickens versus Trollope. So I would read Bleak House and then give a Bell redemption shot to The We Live Now. Because there is some discussion here on BookTube over Trollope versus Dickens. Now, this possible reading project would probably take up the whole month. It normally takes me about 2 or more weeks to read mammoth novels. And I'm not entirely sure if I will do this sort of Dickens versus Trollope for Victober, because there are a few other things I want to read. So do I want to read these two, or do I want to reread Demon Slayer? And then the September, well, there's not actually that much September manga that I'm actually going to be hauling this year. Only 4. Shocking. Anyway, so that's an option for Victober. Or not. So next up is The Luminaries by Eleanor Catton. This is a historical novel set in late 19th century New Zealand during a gold rush. It's set in a mining town, and it's about a group of men who are involved in a murder. It won the Booker Prize in 2013, and I gave a go at this book sometime around then. And I didn't make it much past the first chapter. Again, it just didn't really connect to me. And the book largely passed out of mind until I started watching Steve Donahue's channel, and copies of this novel appeared in the background. And in late 2022, was it 2021? I don't remember if it was 2021 or 2022. At the end of the year, Katie Books created a trilogy of top 10 books. 10 classics you must read, 10 modern classics you must read, 10 contemporary classics you must read. And Steve Donahue made response videos to those, and in his 10 contemporary classics video, there were a number of his choices that I had read and build on. So that gave me the idea to create my own version of the 10 contemporary classics. Is 10 contemporary classics I must build redeem. And The Luminaries was one of those books. So I gave it another go and did not make it much past where I built on the book the first time. Again, it just really didn't connect to me. And so I'm not entirely sure if I want to give this another go or not, and try to push further than I did the last time I had a go at it. Although I'm not entirely sure when that would be. And a similar situation is Duck's Newburyport by Lucy Ellman. Although not a Booker winner, it was just longlisted. So I'm pretty sure this was one of the 10 books on Steve Donahue's list. And I believe it also placed quite highly in his year-end list for 2019. I'm just not entirely sure if it was in the top 5 or if it was actually number 1. I'm not entirely sure where I would go to find that, because I think some of his year-end lists, well, on Open Letters review, I think have disappeared. But anyway, so this is a novel about a middle-aged woman who is baking some pies. And while she's baking pies, she goes on a 1,000+ page meander in her own thoughts. I first read the novel, or tried to read the novel, in 2020 while waiting with my mom for a doctor's appointment for her. And I didn't make it too far, I think maybe 20 pages. Although when I picked this book up for my 10 Contemporary Classics I Must Bail Redeem, I did make it a bit further. At least, I want to say I made it past 50, maybe not quite 100 pages. I think if you get captured by the rhythm of the book, it'll be smooth sailing, but if you get knocked off, if there's some discordance or something, then it's possibly hard to come pick back up, because there's no real sort of on-ramp and off-ramp. There are no chapters, so it's basically one gigantic sentence. So it's kind of hard to maneuver your way back into the book. And again, I'm not entirely sure when I would be able to do a Bail redemption shot. I mean, for the Luminaries, I could theoretically, I mean, for both of them. Obviously, there is March of the Mammoths in March. So that's always an option. And perhaps there would be a random new booktube event where reading one of them would be appropriate. Like, say, for a historical fiction event, or my own back to school thing, which is not going all that well this year. But because I could do Newburyport for English, the Luminaries for history. But, and speaking of August, the next book is Tomb of Sand by Geetanjali Shree, translated by Daisy Rockbell. This won the Booker International Prize in 2022 and is about an elderly woman coming to terms with her life after the partition of India and Pakistan. I made it a little ways into the book, not much, before I bailed on it, and I haven't given it a second look. I had thought about giving it another look, about redemption, this August for Women in Translation Month, but I decided not to. And finally, the one piece of nonfiction among the five. This is Inventing the Renaissance by Ada Palmer. This book came out this year and is an irreverent, myth-busting look at the Renaissance. I ordered it from University of Chicago Press because it was on sale and has come highly reviewed. I had a go at it a few months ago and I didn't quite get on with it. And I haven't been getting on with some of the history that I've been buying lately. There's going to be another one this weekly reads, and it's kind of frustrating me. I'm not happy about it. So I'm thinking about maybe for Bail Redemption December to maybe focus more on history that I bailed on this year. But I haven't quite determined what I want to do. I'm kind of feeling a bit swamped. And it's bugging me. So, anyway, I'm not entirely sure if I've made any firm decisions over when I when or if I'm going to give another look at any of these books. Um, the closest one would probably be The Way We Live Now. I could again try to get it in October, although I also really want to reread Demon Slayer, so I'm not entirely sure if I can balance Bleak House, The Way We Live Now, and Demon Slayer. Plus um, I mean, the September pre-orders will be easy because there's only 4 of them. Um, and then I could maybe give another go to Tomb of Sand later this month. There's still some time left because my the August reading plan that I went with failed miserably, so I could possibly get that in, or try to get that in later this month. I don't know. I will report back on how things turn out. Anyway, at least this time my attempt at this video worked out a bit better than yesterday's, even though I think there's still some petering out of what I'm going to do, which is why I didn't make any videos yesterday or Monday. I had a lot of plans on making some videos and I haven't really been up for it. So hopefully I will be more up for it tomorrow with Poetry Thursday, and hopefully a book haul sometime either tomorrow or Friday. So yeah, my July pre-orders may hopefully finally be coming to me. I will of course report when they do and talk a bit more about what happened. But anyway, BookTube, until I see you tomorrow with at least Poetry Thursday, thank you, have a great afternoon, and stay safe.